Let's take a look at a quick overview of parenthetical citations. This is a very brief overview. If it's not enough, there is a longer lesson also on the announcements page. Of course, you can also call me and I'll go over it with you. So these are just a few resources that you can use. First of all, what am I talking about? They're also called internal citations. Those terms can be used interchangeably. You need to document the sources of specific facts. It's important to avoid plagiarism, and it adds to the credibility of what you're writing. Anything that is your opinion or your analysis, you do not need to cite the source of, because of course you're the source of that information. These citations occur at the end of your facts from a particular source, or if you have an entire paragraph that's essentially from one source, it can occur at the end of that paragraph. Now, your parenthetical citations should match your works cited list, because your works cited list is a list of the works, the websites, books, magazines, newspapers, that have been cited in the paper. Citations are the items that you cite. You have cited them. Oh, so that's what a works cited list is, right? I know, it's crazy. So I should be able to match your parenthetical citations with the items in your works cited list. Your works cited list is just a roundup, a list of your parenthetical citations. And you use them both for your quoted and your paraphrased material. It's not just for stuff you quote, it's also for stuff that you paraphrase. What do they look like? Not the same as your full works cited list citation. That would be bulky and cumbersome and frankly annoying. Let's say that this citation here is in your works cited list, and you always want to start with the full citation from your works cited list. If there's an author, it's easy. You take the author's last name and the year of publication. It goes in parentheses at the end of the sentence and before the period in the sentence that contains the fact that you need to give credit for. The Magna Carta was read differently in the 13th century from how we consider it today. Okay, that was not my original thought. I got it from this source. I need to give credit to this author. So even though I've paraphrased, at the end of the sentence, I include the name of the author, the year of publication, close the parentheses, and there's the period. If I didn't have a year of publication for this source, which will sometimes happen with websites, that's fine. You can just leave the year out. Include the year if you can. If there isn't a year, it's okay to skip it. Now, where this gets a little bit trickier is with websites that don't have authors. I know that this happens, so let's take a look at that too. Here's a couple more opportunities. Here are my works cited entries, Magna Carta English Translation, and another source just called Magna Carta. I've written a couple of sentences, they're paraphrased, but I need to cite them. In order to understand Magna Carta, you need to understand feudal society. I know it's exciting stuff. Now, what I've done here is I've taken what occurs at the beginning of the citation, Magna Carta English Translation, and I've put that in parentheses. Now, you might be thinking, hey, Pence, why don't you put the British Library? I mean, that seems more like an author, and if what you want to do is have the author, British Library is more like the author, that seems like a good idea. No. The reason for that is you may eventually, in college, have 40 or 50 items in your works cited list. And those items in your works cited list will be alphabetized based on the first word in each citation. And someone looking at your paper should be able to very easily go down your list of works cited to find a source. It is much easier to do when you're working with references that use the beginning of the citation rather than something that is in the middle. If you used something like the British Library, a source would be a lot harder to find if you were working with something from the middle, okay? That's why we use what's at the beginning. It makes it easier for other people to find. Likewise here with Magna Carta from History.com, okay? We use what is at the beginning of the citation. Now let's just say, just for fun, that these two sources had the exact same website name. What if this were called Magna Carta and this were called Magna Carta and this didn't say English translation? They just both said Magna Carta. In that case, you would continue the citation to read Magna Carta, the British Library, Magna Carta, History.com, because your purpose is always to communicate clearly. Okay, so you want to use what's at the beginning of the citation. Okay, now, there's no year here because I don't have a year of publication. Hey, Pence, there's a year right here. You messed up. Okay, no, I didn't really. This is the date that I accessed the website. There is no date of publication, all right? So you don't put the date that you accessed it, only the date of publication. So I hope that this is helpful. If it's not enough, please let me know. This is very, very brief, just to give you a quick idea of how to do your parenthetical citations. Anytime that you are including research, you need to have a works cited list and parenthetical citations. Thanks for watching. I'll talk to you soon.